They won't understand you right now. They'll look at you and think you've lost it. They'll see the distance, the silence, the isolation, and they'll call it weird. They'll call it ego. They'll call it obsession. But one day, they'll call it success. See, when you start moving different, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop announcing your every move, the world gets uncomfortable. People can't stand what they can't predict. They want to read you, box you, define you, label you. And when you refuse to give them that satisfaction, they panic. But that's exactly what you want. Silence is your weapon. Isolation is your forge. While they're busy talking, you're busy building. While they're seeking attention, you're stacking bricks in the dark. While they're chasing claps, you're preparing to make noise that can't be ignored. The truth is, the early stages of greatness always look like madness. You'll lose people. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose validation. Because silence demands sacrifice. You can't build something extraordinary while explaining yourself to ordinary minds. They won't get it when you stop showing up to parties. They won't get it when you ghost the group chat. They won't get it when you stop laughing at small talk and start feeding your mind with something sharper. They'll call you antisocial. They'll call you arrogant. But what they'll never admit is this: your silence threatens them. Your focus is loud in their insecurity. Your discipline screams in their laziness. Your absence exposes their comfort. That's why they talk. That's why they whisper. Because deep down, they feel what you're becoming, something they can't touch. When you're moving in silence, the world thinks you're still. They think you've stopped. They think you've quit. But they don't know that every silent night, every early morning, every hidden grind is adding up. They don't know that every time you choose to shut up and work, the gap between you and them widens. Let them talk, let them guess, let them underestimate you. Because when you finally show your results, they won't know what hit them. Silence builds empires. Noise destroys focus. Every second spent trying to explain your vision to people who can't even see their own is a second stolen from your mission. Stop talking. Stop showing. Stop seeking applause. Just move quietly. Wolves don't announce when they're about to hunt. Lions don't post status updates before they roar. They move in silence, strike with precision, and the world only hears the echo of their victory. That's how you move. That's how you build. Because if they can predict you, they can limit you. If they can read your steps, they can block your path. The man who talks too much gives away his power. The man who moves quietly holds all of it. Every great empire was built in silence before it was celebrated in noise. Every great man lived invisible before he became undeniable. The grind doesn't need witnesses, it needs commitment. They won't understand you when you stop entertaining nonsense. They won't understand why you're not replying. They won't understand why your weekends are gone, why your circle shrinks, why your world gets quiet. But that's good. Let them stay confused, because while they're wondering, you're working. While they're scrolling, you're learning. While they're gossiping, you're building. While they're dreaming, you're doing. The day will come when your silence will make the loudest noise in the room. But that day won't come if you keep trying to prove yourself to the wrong people. You owe them nothing. Your vision doesn't need approval. Your grind doesn't need applause. Silence is not weakness, it's warfare. It's focus. It's power concentrated. Every word you don't speak saves energy. Every move you don't announce saves momentum. You are not ignoring the world, you're evolving beyond it. You are not avoiding people, you're outgrowing them. You are not hiding, you're sharpening. Remember this: noise attracts attention, but silence commands respect. Let them laugh now, let them doubt, let them sleep. Because while they're busy watching each other, you'll be busy becoming something they can't even imagine. They won't understand you until you win. And when you do, your silence will be the answer to every question they ever asked. There's a certain kind of pain that comes with silence. It's not loud, it doesn't scream, it doesn't demand attention. It's quiet, steady, and sharp. It's the kind of pain that builds something inside you. something that most people will never understand, because while everyone else is chasing distractions, you're chasing purpose. While they're chasing pleasure, you're chasing power, and that power is forged in the dark. The truth is, isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. The silence that breaks most men, that same silence shapes the chosen few. When the world goes quiet, when you're left alone with your thoughts, with your doubts, with your hunger, that's when the real transformation begins. It's not glamorous, it's not fun. There are no claps, no cheers, no validation. Just you, the grind, the silence, the repetition, the weight, the fatigue, the doubt, the pain. But in that darkness, something inside you sharpens. Something inside you learns how to move without applause, how to fight without recognition, how to build without witnesses. That's when you become dangerous. Because when a man learns to move without attention, he becomes unstoppable. The world can't distract him. The noise can't reach him. Opinions can't shake him. He moves like a shadow, invisible, focused, relentless. You don't need them to understand. You don't need them to clap. You don't need them to see your process. Because one day when they're celebrating you, you'll remember this silence. The nights you couldn't sleep, the mornings you didn't skip, the work no one saw. That's what built you. They think silence means weakness. They think quiet means uncertainty. They're wrong. Silence means calculation. It means control. It means every move you make is intentional. You're not talking because you're planning. You're not posting because you're producing. You're not showing because you're stacking. The quiet phase of your life is the most dangerous one, because that's when you outgrow everything they thought you were. You start to see through people. You start to see who's real and who's noise. You start to understand that most people love to talk about success, but very few are built to earn it. And when you start winning quietly, they'll start noticing. They'll start asking questions. They'll start watching your moves. They'll ask, "Where have you been?" You'll smile and say, "Building." Because by the time they realize what you were doing in silence, it'll already be too late. You'll be too far ahead. They won't understand how you turned pain into progress, how you turned loneliness into discipline, how you turned silence into power. They'll call it luck. They'll call it privilege. They'll call it overnight success. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was silence. The quiet hours, the hidden grind, the invisible years. That's where greatness hides. That's where real power grows. That's where the man inside you is reborn. You see, anyone can be loud, anyone can talk, anyone can announce their goals, but not everyone can go dark. Not everyone can disappear and build in the shadows. Because silence demands faith. You have to trust the process when no one else believes in it. You have to keep pushing when no one's watching. You have to bet everything on yourself when the world laughs at the idea of you winning. But that's how you become dangerous. That's how you become undeniable. Because when you return from that silence, when you step back into the light, the world won't recognize you anymore. The same people who ignored you will study you. The same people who laughed will follow you. The same people who doubted you will quote you. That's the power of silence. It doesn't seek validation, and it earns respect. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove yourself right. You're here to fulfill what they can't see. You're here to build something that doesn't need defending. It speaks for itself. So let them misunderstand you. Let them think you've changed. Let them assume you've lost it, because they don't need to understand you right now. They'll understand later, when your results start screaming louder than their opinions ever could. The truth is, they won't understand your silence until it turns into victory. They won't respect your solitude until it produces strength. They won't value your discipline until it turns into domination. So stay silent, stay focused, stay patient. Every second of quiet grind is a seed, and when it blooms, the same world that ignored you will clap for you. But by then you won't even care, because silence will have taught you the only thing that matters, how to move without needing noise. They won't understand you now, but they will when you win in silence. They laughed when you went quiet. They joked that you fell off. They whispered that you lost your edge. They assumed your silence meant defeat. But silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. And while they were busy performing, you were perfecting. While they were showing off, you were sharpening. While they were chasing attention, you were building something that doesn't need attention, because real power doesn't ask to be seen. It demands to be noticed. Every night you spent alone, every hour you spent working, every sacrifice you made in the dark, that was your foundation. Those were the bricks nobody saw you lay. That was the version of you the world forgot about. And now the quiet storm is ready to strike. Because when you win in silence, the impact is louder than any announcement. It shakes the room. It freezes the noise. It silences the very mouths that once doubted you. Understand this. Noise is temporary. Results are permanent. The man who moves quietly doesn't need applause. His presence becomes the applause. His results are the thunder that follows years of silence. When they see you rise, they'll call it overnight success. But you'll know it wasn't a night. It was every silent morning, every hidden sacrifice, every unseen battle. They'll say you changed, and you did. You evolved. You outgrew the noise, the validation, the opinions. You became someone who doesn't need to be understood, only respected. Because here's the truth most people never learn. When you talk too much about your vision, it loses power. But when you move in silence, it builds pressure. And when that pressure finally releases, the world feels it. That's what happens when you win in silence. It's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about becoming so right within yourself that you don't even need to. Every time you stayed quiet instead of defending yourself, you gained strength. Every time you chose discipline over comfort, you built armor. Every time you walked alone instead of following the crowd, you found clarity. That's what the silence gave you, the power, peace, precision. And now that power doesn't need to scream. It doesn't need to post. It doesn't need to explain. It just moves. The people who once questioned you will study you. The ones who mocked you will imitate you. The ones who doubted you will pretend they always belied. But you won't say a word. You'll just keep moving quietly. Because real winners don't need to announce victory. Victory announces them. Real kings don't shout from the throne. The crown speaks for them. And real warriors don't brag about battles. The scars tell their story. Your silence was never weakness. It was training. It was evolution. It was your transformation into something untouchable. Because when a man learns to master silence, he masters himself. And a man who masters himself cannot be stopped. Let them think what they want. Let them assume. Let them whisper. Because every whisper dies the moment your success echoes louder. And when it does, the same world that questioned your quiet will stand in awe of your storm. They'll say, we didn't see it coming. Exactly, that's the point. You weren't meant to be seen. You were meant to be felt. You don't chase noise anymore. You move with purpose. You move with grace. You move with fire, but quietly. Because now silence isn't just your strategy. It's your identity. It's your crown. They won't understand the peace that comes after war. They won't understand the calm that comes after chaos. They won't understand the silence that follows victory. But you will, because you earned it. You've earned the right to be quiet. You've earned the right to move unseen. You've earned the right to disappear and still dominate. And the best part, you don't even need them to understand anymore. Because real peace isn't in proving people wrong. It's in no longer needing to. Now you walk differently, shoulders steady, eyes calm, voice measured, because you know something they don't, that silence was the secret all along. So keep moving, quietly, keep building, quietly, keep rising, quietly, and let your success do the screaming for you. Because the truth is simple. They won't understand you when you're quiet. They won't respect you when you're patient. They won't see you when you disappear. But they'll feel you when you win in silence. So don't announce it, don't post it, don't explain it. Just move quietly. Because when you finally win, and you will win, the silence will speak louder than every word you never said. And that's how legends are born. Not through noise, not through validation, but through discipline, through patience, through silence. So remember the words burned into your chest. Move quietly, build loudly, win silently. Because when you win in silence, you don't just rise, you rewrite the rules.